morning.
早安，
Yeah. Oh, I got to try that again. Good morning.
早安。
Okay, that's better. If you're too quiet today, I'm going to go to sleep up here. Okay.
如果你们太安静，我可能会在上面睡着。
So your responsibility is to respond wildly and keep me awake.
你们的
all
责任
right?
就是要让我清醒。
That's good. That's good. I like that.
很好，很好，谢谢。
How many of you guys attended the conference in Taipei this week?
我们当中这礼拜参加特会的，请举手。
Oh, look at this. Okay. You just spent hours with great teaching.
你们这礼拜已经听了这么多这么好的教导，
And yet you chose to come here this morning.
但是礼拜天你们还是来参加主日，
I love you guys.
我很爱你们。
It says a lot about your hearts.
这就对我说的，你们的非常饥渴的人。
If it's like me, my head is full of teaching.
我已经脑袋都充满这些教导，
Wonderful teaching this last week.
美好的教导。
And now you're coming here.
但是你们今天还是来了，
And God loves your heart.
神爱这样子的心，
He loves that hunger.
他喜欢你的饥
So
渴。
I just bow to you. I think that's fantastic
我
what
向
you
你
guys
致
are
敬。
doing. I want to start off by telling a story I heard a few years ago.
我要跟大家先分享一个几年前听过的见证。
There was a pastor in San Francisco,
旧金山有一位牧师，
and he wanted to take 4 little old ladies, little grandmas, out on outreach.
有一次他带4个阿嬷去参加福音初级，
And so he took them into a really rough bar.
他们就到了一个只有男人才会去的酒
I
吧，
mean, there was loud music,
音乐很吵，
a lot of people getting drunk,
很多人喝醉，
smoke everywhere.
到处都是烟味，
And you know, it's the kind of place where maybe motorcycle gangs hung out.
像这个骑重型机车那个飞车党的人才会去的地方。
And here comes our 4 little grandmas
然后就有
into
4个
the
阿嬷
place. And
进
they
到这里。
the pastor set them down at a table.
牧师为他们找了一张桌子，
They were a little nervous.
阿嬷都很紧张，
They were not used to this kind of
因
place.
为他们从来没有来过这种地
They
方，
read about this kind of place in newspapers,
只有在报纸上看过
but，they've never been to a place like this
从来没有
before.
进去过。
And now they're on outreach.
现在是福音初级的时候，
Their job is to reach the people in that
他
bar.
们的任务就是要把里面的人都得着。
Well, the pastor came and he put a sign on their table.
牧师在他们的桌上放了一个告示牌，
And the sign said free prayer.
告示上写着说免费的祷告，
And the little grandmas just sat there.
然后阿妈们就坐下，
Now the pastor, he went off to the side a little bit.
牧师就到旁边去观察了
He，just wanted to see what would happen.
他看看会发生什么事，
There were maybe a couple of people who came up to the table.
然后就有几个人来祷告了，
And the 4 grandmas, they prayed for them.
然后阿妈们就为他们祷告，
And it was nice.
很好。
But the pastor is over here,
在这里的牧师呢
and，he's thinking, no, it's not enough.
他说：“我想的不是这样子而已
We
呢，
need something more powerful.
我要有更大的能力彰显。
So he went up to the table with the 4 grandmas. ”
然后他就到阿妈那里去。
He says, we're going to change it a little bit.
接下来我们要做一点小的调
Right?
整。
I want you guys to invite the presence of God on you right now.
现在要请你们邀请神的同在在你们
I
当中，
want you to release that presence around your table.
然后释放这个神的同在在你的桌子这里。
That's your big job.
好，现在就开始
Just release the presence of God.
释放神的同在。
And then the pastor walked away again.
然后牧师又跑到旁边了。
4 grandmas, they're godly women.
4个姐妹，
They understood what this meant.
她们都知道该怎么做
And，they began to invite the presence of God down.
她们就邀請神的同在。
They were having a good time at that table.
哇，非常享受神的同在。
They were getting drunk a different kind of way.
然后有另外一种不同的罪，
Right? So
喝醉了。
you guys get that? So they notice there's a big man over here.
然后他们就发现有一个很壮的男人要
And he's looking at them.
看着他们，
And he does not look nice.
然后看起来他不怎么友
And
善
he。starts walking towards them.
这个男人就开始往他们走
And
过来，
of course, the grandmas are just a little bit nervous.
然后阿嬷们就有一点点紧张。
When this man gets about 2 meters from the table,
然后那个大男人走到大概离桌子还有2公尺的地方，
he starts shaking.
他开始就摇
And
晃
he
了，
doesn't know what's happening.
他也不晓得发生什
And
么
his
事。
legs start to shake.
然后那个强壮的男人脚也开始摇动
And，he falls to his knees.
然后他就倒下了
And，he crawls up to the table.
跪着要爬着过去桌子。
The presence of God hit this man.
神的荣耀的同在冲击到这个男人的身上，
And the grandmas look at him
然后阿嬷们就看着他，
and they just start praying for
他
him.
就为他祷告。
That guy got saved, healed, and delivered that day.
那个人那天就得救、被释放，然后得自由，
It's because of the presence of God.
因为神的同在。
God used those grandmas to release the presence of God into that place.
神使用那4位老姐妹释放她的同在在那
So
里。
even these big, rough guys,
就算是很粗鲁的男人，
they couldn't stand in the presence of God.
也没办法拒绝神荣耀的同在。
We need that.
我们需要这样子，
I want that.
我也需要这样子，
I want that.
我要。
You guys want that?
你们要不要？
Yeah, I'm excited because we're talking about the presence of God.
我谈到神的同在都非常的兴
You
奋。
know, this is the last sermon in our series.
这是我们这个
on
系
the
列
presence.
最后一个教导。
And some of us, we hear that.
我们有听了这些
Okay,
教导，
okay, this is the last.
好，这是最后一堂了。
We're going to go on to something new next time.
然后下礼拜开始一个新的系列，
I don't see things that way.
但是不是只有这样子而已，
This is not the last.
这个并不是结束，
This is the beginning.
这只是一个另外一个开
This
始
is。really important we understand
我们
this.
非常重要了解这件
This is
事
the
情，
beginning of something amazing God is doing in us as a church.
这只是神要做奇妙的事情的刚开始而
And
已。
in every one of us.
我们每一个人，
So we will grow and grow and grow in experiencing more of God's presence.
我们就可以在神的同在里面更多的经历，然
And
后
we
更多
will,
的成长。
and we will carry the presence of God like those 4 grandmas.
我们就可以像那4个姐妹们一样，可以带
And we'll
领
release the presence of God, and His power will change the world
有
around
神的
us.
同在在他们身上，然后有荣耀、有能力可以彰显。
We're in the beginning of this.
我们只是刚开始而
That's
已，
why I'm excited.
所以我这样非常的兴
Because I
奋，
see the hunger that you have.
因为我知道你们都是这么
I
饥渴，
see you guys stepping out into more of His
我
presence.
知道你们都更愿意有更多经历他的
And you
同
know
在。
why I'm most excited?
那你知道我最兴奋的是什么？
Because we're just starting.
因为我们才刚开始而已。
Can you imagine what God has for us in the next months?
如果现在就这样，你可以想象过去几个月、将来几个月，神会有更多的彰显吗？
That's why I go around smiling all the time.
所以我现在都是走着，都是笑着，
I know what's coming.
因为我知道什么要来到我们当
And
中，
I'm excited.
我非常的兴奋。
I'm going to speak out the presence declaration over you.
现在我要为对神宣告神同在的祝福。
And as I'm speaking this out over you,
当我这样子来宣告的时候，
I'm going to be trusting God to do a powerful work of softening our hearts.
我相信今天神要用他的话语来柔软我们的心。
I feel like God wants to do that today.
我觉得神今天要做成这样子的事
So，it's not just during my declaration over you.
不是只是我的一个宣告而已，
That's where it starts.
这只是开始。
But I believe during the whole sermon today,
但我相信今天我们讲到的过程当中，
God is going to do a powerful work in all of us of softening our hearts.
神要行做一个很强力的工作，要柔软我们每一个人的心。
In Isaiah chapter 64,
在以赛亚书
this is
46、
a
46 节
very popular, very common scripture. You know this scripture.
64章，你们都很熟悉的经节，
You've probably sung songs with this scripture.
你们也都常常唱这样子的歌。
And it says that God is the potter and we are the clay.
他们说神是陶匠，我们是泥土。
Sometimes our hearts can get just a little bit hard.
有的时候我们的心就是有一点会刚硬起来，
I'm not saying that they're really hard like
不
this.
是说那种很坚硬的那个硬。
I'm saying that sometimes over time we can just get a little hard around the edges of our
就
hearts.
有的时候我们的心就是有那样子一点不容易被捏，没有办法变。
And it's like if you take clay and you set it out for too long.
就好像那个泥土啊、陶土放在外面太久了，
It's hard to work with it.
然后你就很难让它变化，有变化
But。here's where our Father, the potter comes in.
但这时候陶匠天赋就来了，
He'll take that little bit of hard clay
他就把这个已经有硬的陶土，
and he'll put some water on it
他浇水在上面，
and he'll start to work it
然
with
后要
his hands.
开始搓
He
揉，
will put more water on it.
然后再加一点水，
Start working it like this.
然后开始来搓
He's
揉它，
making it softer the
让
whole
它
time.
再一次变柔软。
That's what God is going to do in our hearts.
神现在就在我们心里面做这样
So
子的
God's
工
going to
作
do，this wonderful work all morning this morning.
神已经在整个早上都做这样子的
So
事
get
了，
ready.
准备好。
If you have any hardness at all,
如果你有任何一点点觉得有
It's
刚硬，
it's okay.
没关系
We have
的，
a great potter.
因为我们有一个好的陶匠
He，says, I can fix that.
陶匠可以处理这个问题，
He'll start working on your hearts.
他就开始在你的心里面工作。
Are you ready for that work?
准备好了吗？
I love that work.
我喜欢这样子的
I
工作
need，that
我
work.
也需要神这样子工作。
I'm I'm excited for you.
我也为你感到
He's
兴
going to
奋，
do that work today.
因为神今天要做成这样子的
Let's
工
stand
作。
up.
让我们起立，
I'm going to declare this blessing over you.
我要宣告这个神同在的祝福。
By the way, God is making you soft.
神正在让你的心变柔软，
Why?
为什么？
Because He's going to make you into an amazing vessel of His presence.
因为他要让你可以承接他的荣耀的同在的
And we
容
can get
器，
excited about that.
我很兴奋。
I encourage you, put your hands out.
把你手心朝上，
This is the time where we put our eyes on Jesus.
让我们专注在耶稣身上，
We welcome His presence.
欢迎他的同在。
We welcome His work.
我们欢迎他在我们的工作，
We welcome Him to come and soften our hearts.
我们欢迎他来柔软我们的心。
The Lord bless you and keep you.
愿耶和华赐福你，保护你。
The Lord make His presence shine on you and be gracious to you.
愿耶和华使他的同在光照你，赐恩给你。
The Lord lift His presence on you and give you peace.
愿耶和华同在垂顾你，赐你平安。
Just let His presence come upon you.
现在就让他的同在到你的身上来，
It's a good place to be.
这是一个很棒的地方。
Amen.
Amen。
Please have a seat.
请坐。
I want to talk a bit about the temple in the Old Testament.
我们要开始先再复习一下是旧约的圣殿，
Like I said last week,
就像我上礼拜
the
所说的，
temple is actually modeled after the tabernacle in the wilderness.
那个圣殿是照着旷野中摩西会幕的样式所做
And
的。
even though there's so many pictures that God gives us in His temple,
虽然有在这个会幕当中有很多很多的图画，
there was one simple main purpose.
但是其最重要是只有一个目的，
The temple was to be the dwelling place of God's presence.
这个圣所要成为神同在的地方。
Now, before I tell the story,
那我要开始继续之前，
I want to remind you of something.
我想要提醒各位一些事
In
情。
1 Corinthians 6:19,
在哥林多前书6章19节，
it says there that every one of us who believes in Jesus is a temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in us.
就是凡是信耶稣的信徒，我们的身体就是圣灵的殿。
You got that?
有听到吗？
You are a temple.
你就是圣灵的殿，
You are a temple of the Holy Spirit.
你就是圣灵的殿，
You are a temple of God's presence.
你就是那个有神同在的殿。
God's presence is in you.
神的同在就在你的身
You
上，
are a dwelling place.
你就是他
of His
同在的
presence.
地方。
You are a temple.
你就是圣殿，
You are a temple.
你就是圣殿，
Temple, temple, temple.
圣殿，圣殿，圣殿。
Just want us to get this.
好，要记得，
In 2 Chronicles, at the beginning of 2 Chronicles,
在历代志下1到7章
we find a story of King Solomon building the temple in Jerusalem.
都讲到所罗门王在耶路撒冷为神建圣殿的故事。
And on the day that they finished building this temple,
建好的那一天，
Solomon held this huge ceremony to dedicate the temple.
所罗门就举办了盛大的仪式，要把圣殿献给神。
He did not go inside the actual temple.
所罗门并没有进到圣所至圣
He was
所，
outside in the courtyard.
那所罗门在外院的地
And said
方。
they said that he built a big a platform for
So
him to stand on,
圣经记载说，他做了一个大的平台，
so that people could see him.
他站在上面，让全百姓都
And
可以
he's
看得到
standing
他。
right in front of the altar
他
in
就
the
站
courtyard.
在外院的铜祭坛前面，
And you got all of these sacrificed animals laying on the altar.
上面都是那个献祭的生物。
It says Solomon got up on this platform
然后所罗门就站在台上，
and he said a few words.
然后就说了几句话，
And then he knelt down.
他就屈膝下跪，
He lifted his hands to heaven
向天张开双手，
and he began to pray a prayer of dedication of this temple to God.
就把献祭的祷告献给神。
Really, he was saying, God, this new temple belongs to you.
基本上他就是要跟神说：“神啊，这个建好的殿就是你的，
Not part of the temple,
不是只有一个部分，
not 98% of the
不
temple.
是98%的部分，
All of this temple belongs to you.
圣殿的全部都是你的。
It was a long prayer.
这个祷告很长，
And throughout this long prayer,
在这个很长的祷告当中，
Solomon reminded God of the covenant that God had made with his people.
所罗门不断提醒神与以色列百姓所立的约，
But he also reminded God of the promise that the people had made to God.
所罗门也提醒神对他的百姓所的应许，
They had promised that they would be surrendered completely to God in his ways.
就是当百姓遵守神的道、遵循律法的时候，
They had promised that they would walk before God with all of their heart.
当他们愿意走在神的个道路上面的时候，
Solomon and all the people were really saying, God, we belong to you.
所罗门就是跟百姓，就是要对神来表达说：神啊，我们就是你的百姓，我们属于你。
All of us belongs to you.
我们所有的都是属于你。
Not just half, all of us belong to you.
不是一半的人，就是所有的都是属于你。
And that was this prayer.
那就是所罗
It
门的
was a
祷
prayer
告，
where he was saying, we belong to you, the temple belongs to you.
一直就重复的就说：我们属于你啊，这圣殿属于你，
Everything we have is yours.
我们所有的一切都是你的。
And at the end of that prayer,
在祷告的结束，
it says that fire came down from heaven.
有火从天降下，
And the fire fell on the altar right in front of Solomon.
那个火降在这个祭坛的铜祭
It
坛
fell
上
on
面，
all those sacrificed animals.
那个火是降在那些献祭的生物上面。
And it was this constant fire coming from heaven.
这个火不断的降下，
People all over Jerusalem could see what was happening.
所有耶路撒冷人都可以看到这个火。
And at the same time that was happening,
在这个同时，
there was a cloud of God's glory, of his presence, that was filling the temple itself.
有耶和华的荣光充满在圣殿里面。
It said that God's presence was so thick in that building
他说，那个神的同在是在圣殿里面是这样子的多，
that the priest could not enter it.
祭司是进不去的。
They tried,
祭司有努力啊，
and they hit a wall and they could not go in.
他们好像碰到一道墙，他们没办法进入，
God's presence was filling that place.
因为神的同在就充满在那个圣殿里面。
Here's what I want you to see.
我想要你想象这个图画，
God's presence, in this story, God's presence fell on the sacrifice of his people.
这个神的火降在这个祭物上面。
The people had brought this sacrifice.
说以色列的百姓带着这么多的动物
They,
祭物
they,
来，
they brought their own lambs, their own goats, their own bulls. They brought it all.
自己养的羊，自己养的牛，
It belonged to them.
是他们的财产。
And they were saying,
他们就是对神来说，
we are going to give this to you as a picture that we belong to you, God.
神啊，我们把我们所有的这些给你，表示说我们是属于你的。
It was their sacrifice.
这是他们所献的祭，
And God loved it.
神非常喜爱这样子的
And his
祭，
presence, his fire, the fire of his presence fell on that sacrifice.
所以他就以他的同在，用火的方式显现在这些祭物上面。
God's response, God's presence fell in response to their declaration, we belong to you.
因为百姓对神说我们是属于你的，神就以他的同在来显现。
Another way of saying this,
另外一种方式，
God's presence fell on the people's yes.
神的同在会回应在人愿意的心上面。
You got that?
有听到吗？
These people, in all that they had done so far with the prayer of Solomon
就是百姓献的祭，还有所罗门的祷告，
and with their sacrifices,
他们所献的这些动物，
they were saying yes to God.
都是表达的跟神说：神啊，我们愿意。
And that's what the presence, the fire of God's presence fell on.
这样就吸引了神的同在降在那个地方，
And God's presence filled the temple.
而且神的同在是充满在圣殿。
You get that?
有看到吗
God's？presence filled the temple.
神的同在是充满在圣殿，
The temple.
圣殿，
The temple.
圣殿，
Temple, temple, temple.
你们就是圣殿。
Now let's go to the New Testament.
那我们来看看旧约，
I want to look at something really, really basic.
我们要看一个很基本的事情，
I'm almost embarrassed. This is so basic.
因为这个实在太简单，我有点不太想提呀、
I've never taught on this before
我以前都没有讲过这个道，
because I always thought this is too basic.
因为我觉得这个是真正入门呢。
But there's something here for us. There's something we need to see.
但今天早上我们要来看一下这个我们需要知道的事情。
Let me ask you a question.
那我来问问大家，
How many of you consider yourself to be a disciple of Jesus?
我们当中有谁认为自己是耶稣的门徒？
Anybody?
举手。
I am a disciple of Jesus.
认为自己是耶
I
稣
am a
门徒的。
disciple of Jesus.
耶稣门徒，请
Okay,
举手。
good, great.
很好。
I want to talk about being a disciple of Jesus.
好，那成为耶稣的门徒是什么意思呢？
This idea of having a teacher and his disciples, his students, was very common in Jesus' day.
在耶稣那个时候，这个老师跟门徒这样子的文化是充满在每一个层面里。
The word disciple actually means learner.
这个门徒这个字就是一个学习的人。
And you had in Jesus' day, you had a lot of teachers going around.
耶稣那个时代有很多的老师在路上走来走去，
And they would gather a small group of men around them.
他们身旁总有一群人围着他们。
And these were men who wanted a higher education.
这些人都是想要学习更多知识的人，
They'd already gone through the basic education.
他们的基础教育都完成了，
And now they wanted to really go high in their understanding of the law and of their religious duties.
但是他们想要更了解律法跟这些律法的仪式，
And so this next step was to find a master teacher.
所以这时候就要去找一个老师。
And if they wanted to, they saw somebody said, hey, I want to come under that. I want to be a disciple of that master teacher.
然后他们找到这个老师，他们就说：“老师，我愿意成为你的门徒，
I want to learn from him.
我想要从你有学习。
That young man would first have to make a decision. ”
那这个年轻人首先他要做一个决
He
定，
would have to make a huge commitment to that teacher.
他必须要有一个对那个老师要有一种承
Not
诺，
a half-hearted commitment.
不是那种50%的
It
承
was
诺，
expected that he made a wholehearted commitment to that teacher.
是全心全意的要来顺从那个
A
老师，
wholehearted commitment to follow that man's teaching.
全心全意的顺从他的教导，
All of it.
全部。
And to follow everything that that man said.
他说什么你就要做什么。
Before he would even ask that man whether he could be a disciple, he had to make the decision, I am 100% committed to that man.
在门徒要去找一个老师之前，他的心里就要先有这样子的觉悟。我要
And the teacher might accept him,
老师有可能会接受这个门徒，
but only if he saw that commitment.
但是他要先确定这个人有门徒
If
愿
he
意
saw that this young man had a yes heart,
全心全意的来顺从他，
then he might accept this young man.
他才会考虑接受他成为门
Because
徒。
this teacher would only have, 6, 8, 10, 12 young men around him at any time.
那个老师可能就6个、8个、10个、12个门
And
徒。
it was a huge honor to be accepted by these master teachers.
如果被接纳成为门徒，是一个光宗耀祖的
Because
事，
they didn't accept a lot of people.
因为老师们不随便收门徒。
But the student knew something.
但是门徒知道一件
He
事，
knew that he would be expected to give the next few years of his life to that man.
成为门徒的人知道说，将来那几年他要成为那个老师的人，
He knew
他知道
he'd have to leave his family.
他要离开他的家人，
He knew
他晓
he'd have
得
to leave his job.
他要离开他的工作，
He knew he'd have to leave his possessions.
他知道他要离开他所有一切
He
的财
can't be a
产。
disciple of his teacher unless he leaves those things.
他如果没有抛弃那些，他没有办法成为这个老师的
It
门
doesn't
徒。
mean he sold it all.
他不是说他都把东西卖
It
掉，
doesn't mean he divorced his wife.
也不是说他就离婚了
What。it meant was he said goodbye.
他意思是说他要跟那些东
The
西
next few years of my life, I'm focused.
说再见。过去
this
将来
teacher
这几年，我就要跟这个老师在一起学习。
He was going to obey everything that teacher said.
老师说什么他就做什么，
No matter what the teacher told him to do.
不管他说什么，
He had that kind of yes heart.
他必须有这样子愿意的心。
Now, this was the culture that Jesus' disciples were a part of.
就是当那个时候，耶稣的门徒的这个文化，
They understood how this worked.
他们知道这样子才会成功。
Often our culture, we don't understand it.
但是我们现在看不到这种
But the
事情。
disciples, everybody in Jesus' day, they knew how this worked with a disciple and a teacher.
但是在耶稣那个时代，每个人都知道成为门徒要有付上这样子的代
And the
价。
disciples knew that if they since they were disciples, they were expected to come under Jesus' authority.
那成为门徒的人，他们晓得说，他们必须要降服在耶稣的权柄之
They,
下，
they knew they were expected to have this big yes heart,
他们必须要有一个完全顺服、愿意的心，
follow him completely.
完完全全的顺从耶稣。
Jesus described what his disciple would be like.
那耶稣就形容这个他的门徒要怎
You
样
could-
子，
he says it several times.
他常常提到。
We're going to look at one in Luke 14:26 and 27.
我们看其中的一个，在路加福音14章26到27节。
Let's read how Jesus describes one of his disciples.
那我们来一起来念这个耶稣怎么形容门徒的，1、2、3，请。如果有人到我这里来，爱我不超过爱自己的父母、妻子、儿女、兄弟、姐妹，甚至自己的性命，就不能做我的门徒。凡不背着自己的十字架跟随我的，也不能做我的门徒。
It sounds a little bit like what I just described, doesn't it?
这跟我刚刚所描述的很像，对吗？
His disciples were expected to leave everything
这
to
个门
follow
徒
Jesus.
要离开他一切来跟随老师。
You understand Jesus was much, much more than a master teacher.
但是你也知道，耶稣是不只是老师而已，
He was the creator God.
他也是创造
He's
的
the
主，
son of God.
他是神的儿子。
But he was in this same culture as the disciple and his teacher.
但是那个时候，他也是这个文化里面的老师。
And Jesus is saying, if you want to be my disciple,
所以耶稣是说对他们说，如果你要成为我
you
的
got
门
to have a
徒，
huge yes heart.
你必须要完全的顺服，
Wave goodbye to your family.
对你的家人说再见，
Wave goodbye to your job.
对你的工作说再见，
Wave goodbye to your possessions.
对你的财产说再
You're
见，
going to spend years with me.
然后你这几年就要跟我在一起，
That's commitment.
就是要这样子的承诺。
We sometimes have a hard time understanding.
这时候我们这个年代的人好像不太
Because
了解这种事，因
We don't see this a lot in our culture now.
为现在看不到这种事情。
It's probably not at your job.
不，你的工作也不用这种要求吧
You？ don't go into your boss.
你不会对公司的老板说
I love you.
我爱你，
I'm going to follow you.
我要全心跟随你。
You're such an amazing man. I'm going to give my life to
你
you.
真是太棒了，我要把我
I'm
的
going
生
to
命
say
都献
goodbye
给
to
你。
my
我
family.
要对我的家人
I'm
说
going
拜
to say
拜，
goodbye to everything else.
我要对我的财产
And
都
I'm
说
going
拜
to
拜，
move into your house.
我要搬到你家，
And I'm going to follow you.
然后跟随
You
你，
just tell me what to do.
告诉我要做什么。
Do you guys do that?
你有这样做吗？
No.
没有嘛，
No. You guys, you would never do that with your boss.
你对你老板绝
You're
对不会
happy
做
when
这
it's
种
time to get
事。
off work.
你下班就赶快走。
My boss can't tell me what to do now.
哎，老板不能再指挥我了。
We don't do that in our church.
我们教会也没有这样子的
You
事，
don't come to me.
你也不会到我这里
Say,
来
Greg, I love you.
说龟哥我爱你，
I'm going to follow
我
you.
要跟随你，
I'm going to move in with you.
我要住到你家，
For the next 3 years, I'm going to be right there.
接3年都要住在你
You
家，
just tell me what to do.
告诉我要做什
I'll
么，
do it.
我就做。
I've never had anybody do that to me.
没有人这样子来找过我，
I'm hurt.
我有点难过。
Of course you don't do that.
当然，我们现在没有这样子的事了。
You would not be very smart. Oh, so you ready? Okay, sign up.
好
You
准
can
备好的
line
可
up
以来
after
签
the
名。
service. You're welcome to line up. I'm taking disciples.
聚完
Okay.
会之后我就收门徒了。
That's not a very smart move
这不一定是聪明的事情，
because I'm not that smart
因为我没有像耶稣一样
and
聪
I'm not
明，
as loving.
我也没有跟他一样有慈爱。
But I appreciate the thought.
但是我感谢你有这样子考虑我。
The best example I know of today of this kind of disciple culture,
那在现代我们可以看到最接近的呢，
it's the relationship that a coach has, that a coach and an athlete have.
就是运动员跟教练之间的关系。
I grew up in this kind of culture.
我就是在这种文化底下
I
长
played
大
several
的。
different sports.
我有很多运动，
Most of them I would have a coach. There was a coach of our team.
然后我们都会有校队，然后就有一个教练。
I especially was focused on
我
basketball.
特别是喜欢篮
For
球，
many years, I was part of the basketball team.
我很多年都是篮球校队。
I want to ask you guys, how many of you have been on a sports team like this?
有没有人是这个参加过校队？
Now, let me explain it a little bit.
我要解释一下，
This is not the kind of team that you join because you want to have fun.
这个不是这个养生或者的好玩的运动
You。know, I know that we have that a lot.
我想着我们
We
台湾
say,
很
oh
多，
yeah, I'm part of a team.
我们是一个球队
Every Saturday we go and play a game.
啊，礼拜六下午就一起
And
去
we
打
have,
球
we，have so much fun.
啊，很开心。
We never practice
我们之前不会练习啊，
because that's not fun.
因为练习有什么好玩
And
的？
if we do practice, it's just to have fun.
就算是练习，也只是好玩而
And
已。
so yes, and we appoint somebody a coach. You're now the coach.
那我们就指定一个人做我们的教练，
And they're just in charge of scheduling games.
好，然后就排时辰。
I'm not talking about that kind of team.
我们不是讲这样子的球队哈，
The kind of culture I grew up in with sports, with the basketball team, was completely different.
我所成长的环境里面的球队不是这个样子。
Our goal was not to have fun.
我们不是去打养生篮球？
We wanted to win.
我们打球是为了要赢。
That was our goal.
我们的目标就是要
Of
赢。
course, I wanted to get better as a basketball player,
但是我想要成为更好的篮球
but
员，
I wanted to win the games.
而且我也想要
And
赢比赛。
that's true of every player on our team.
就是我们球队上的每一个球员，
It wasn't about fun.
我们不是为了娱乐而来
It
的，
was about winning.
我们是为了赢球来的
We。practiced every day.
我们每天都练球，
We practiced during the summertime.
我们夏天放暑假也练
Well,
球，
maybe didn't practice. We did a lot of exercises during the summertime.
然后夏天的时候就做很多的运动做准备。
Listen, when I tried out for these basketball teams,
当我参加校队甄选的时候
I， already had made a decision in my heart.
我就心里就做好决定。
Everybody else that was trying out, they also had made the same decision.
那些来参加甄试的其他人也一样
And
有这个决定。
the decision was this.
这个决定就是这样
If。the coach chooses me to be on this team,
如果被教练选上，
I will give myself completely to the coach and his decision.
我就会完全委身给教练，尊重他的决定，
Whatever he says, I will do.
服从他一切的教导
I。had that in my heart before I was even accepted on the team.
我还没有被选成球员之前，我就已经做
Now,
好这样子的决定。
why would I give myself to the coach?
我为什么要把我自己给教练呢？
Because I wanted to be a better basketball
因为我想
player.
要成为更好的球员，
And I wanted our team to win.
因为我想要帮助球队赢球。
And everyone on our team had the same kind of thinking.
我们队上的每一个球员也跟我一样。
If somehow a player got on our team and he did not have that thinking,
如果有一个球员来到我们球队上，没有这样子的，
that thinking where all of me belongs to the coach now.
我没有说我是属于球队、属于教
Whatever the
练的。
coach wants me to do, I'll do.
他没有说我教练要我
If
做什么就做什
somebody
么。
had gotten onto the team that did not have that kind of thinking,
如果有人参加了这个球队，没有这样子的觉悟，
they maybe would have lasted 2 days
他们了不起可以撑2天，
because it wasn't fun.
因为一点都不好玩，
It was a lot of work.
很多汗流浃背，
I mean, it was running and running and running.
每天的跑来跑去。
And I hate running.
我不喜欢跑步的，
We all hate running.
没有人喜欢跑步
I。mean, if you're in a basketball game, you're running, that's okay.
如果你是打篮球比赛，跑步
But
还好啦。
our coaches, they want us to be in good shape.
但是教练要我们能够保持
So
好的
every
身材，
practice, we run and run and run and run.
用跑步来累积体能。
They had something called the suicide drill.
有一个叫做自杀的练习，
Have you ever heard of that drill?
有没有听过这个
Mike, you
名
ever
字？
heard of that? Matthew, you ever heard? It's really simple.
很简单呢
You，had to run a certain way.
你必须要做一些的跑
You
步，
had 30 seconds.
你有30秒可以
If
来
you
完
did
成。
not finish the run in 30 seconds,
如果30秒内没有完成，
you did it again,
你就要再做一次，
and you did it again,
就要再做一
and
次，
you did it again.
要再做一次
And。in fact, if anyone on the team did not make it under 30
那
seconds,
只要12个人里面有1个人没有做到30秒以内，
all of us had to run it again.
其他人要陪着他再做一次。
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
哇，真的很有趣。
Oh, it was terrible.
哦，太累了，
But we did it.
但是我们还是照做了。
Why?
为什么？
We had made a commitment to follow our coach.
因为我们已经决定好要跟随
We
教
trusted
练，
his experience.
我们相信他的经验可
We
以帮助我
trusted
们，
his knowledge.
我们相信他的知识可
We
以帮助
trusted he
我
would
们，
make us into a great team.
我相信教练可以帮助我们成为一个好的球队。
And we knew we had to be committed to that.
我们知道这样子，我们必须要有承诺。
That's the best example I can think of this teacher-disciple relationship.
这是我能够想象到这个门徒的文化最好的对比。
By the way, the coach's influence wasn't just during practice or the games.
教练对我们的影响不是只有在比赛或者练习当中，
He told us how to eat.
他还告诉我们怎么样的
He
补
told
充
us
营
when
养，
to sleep,
告诉我们什么时候该睡觉，
how to dress,
要怎么样子有合适的
how to
穿
act
着，
in class,
怎么样子有运动员的精神，
whether or not we could attend school parties.
能不能去参加学校的派对。
He touched all these different areas of our lives.
他管理我们生活的每一个层面。
And we said,
那我们的回答是
yes,
好的，教练，
yes,
好，我们愿意，教练，
yes.
我们愿意。
The coach was like a father to us,
教练就好像我们的父亲，
a strict father, a strict father, a
很严
severe
格、
father.
很严格的父亲。
And we gave ourselves to him,
我们把我们自己献给他，
to his teaching,
献给他的
to
教育，
his coaching,
献给他的
to
训
all of
练，
his rules,
他的所有的
to
规
all
则，
of his methods,
他所有的方法，
to all of his way of thinking.
所有的想法。
We did everything our coach told us to.
教练说什么我们就做什么，
We were his disciples.
我们就是教练的门徒。
We are called to be disciples of Jesus.
我们是被呼召成为耶稣的门徒。
We're not called to be disciples of a coach.
我们不是要成为教练的门徒，
We're not called to be disciples of any other kind of teacher.
我们也不是要成为其他任何奇奇怪怪老师的
You're
门
not
徒。
called to be my disciple.
你们也不是被呼召要成为我的门徒，
I'm not smart enough.
因为我也没有那么聪明，
I'm not loving enough.
我也没有像耶稣那么的慈爱。
Jesus is.
但是耶稣是，
He's our creator God.
耶稣也是我们创造的主
He，always knows what's best for you.
他知道什么是对你是最好的。
Do you understand what I just said?
你明白我所说的
You
吗？
got to get this.
你一定要能够明白哦。
Jesus always knows what's best for you.
耶稣永远都知道什么是对你们是最好的，
He's more loving than anybody else by
他
far.
比每一个人都更爱你，
He's good toward you.
他对你都只有良善，
He knows what will help you to be what He created you to be.
因为他也知道怎么样可以帮助你成为他创造
He
你的
knows
目的。
exactly what you need.
他知道你需要的是什
You
么，
don't know what you need.
你可能不是完全知道哦，
You don't.
你真的不一定
I
知道
don't。know what I need.
我有时候不晓得我需要什么，
Jesus does.
但是耶稣他永远都知道，
So we can get happy about this.
所以我们可以感到很开心，
We can give ourselves to Jesus.
我们
in
可以
this.
把自己献给神。
And as His disciples, we need to come to Jesus with this huge yes heart.
就是当他的门徒，那就要给耶稣一个愿意的心。
And I want you to see what happens when we come to Jesus with a yes heart.
当我们到耶稣的面前来，有个愿意的心的时候，
In John 14:23,
就是在约翰福音14章23节，
Jesus said, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word."
耶稣就说：“人若爱我，就要遵守我的话。
Let's stop. ”
停在这里一下，
If anyone loves me, he will keep my word.
人若爱我，就要遵守我的话。
What does that mean?
这是什么意思
It？means he will have a big yes heart.
就是他要有一个愿意的心，
His heart will always be prepared with yes, Jesus. Yes, Jesus.
他的心
Yes,
要随时
Jesus.
准备
Yes,
说：“我
Jesus.
愿意。”好，耶稣，
If anyone loves me, he will have a big yes heart.
人若爱我，就要愿意。
And then listen. And my Father will love him.
然后接下来说：“我父必
And
定爱
we, my
他，
Father and I, will come to him and make our abode in him.
并且我跟我的父要到他那里去。
What does that mean? ”
这是什么意思
We？come to Jesus with our yes heart.
当我们到耶稣面前有个
And
愿意的
his
心，
presence will fill us.
他的同在就会充满我们。
That's what we want.
这就是我们要的，不是吗？
We want more of his
我
presence.
们需要有更多他的同
I
在。
want you to think back now to the temple.
然后我们来再
The Old
回
Testament.
想一下旧约的那个圣殿。
Romans 12:1.
我们来看罗马书12章
Let's
1
read,
节。
let's read this.
那我们一起来念罗马书12章第1节，请。所以弟兄们，我凭着神的仁慈劝你们，要把身体献上，做圣洁而蒙神悦纳的活祭，这是你们属灵的敬拜。
We're to present our bodies as a sacrifice to God.
我们要把身体献上作为活祭，
What does that mean?
这是什么意思
We
呢？
go to God and we say, I belong to you.
就是我们到神面前说：“神啊，我属于你，
My whole life, I'm going to get up on the altar because my whole life belongs to
我
you.
把我整个生命放在祭坛上，这些都是你的。”
That means I am saying yes to you in everything.
就是说，神啊，在我的生命的每个层面，我都对你说
And，here-
我愿意。
Here it is.
那如是这样子，
Here's what I want you to remember.
那我要你记得这件事
If。you're a believer,
如果你是信徒，
then you are a temple of the Holy Spirit.
你就已经成为圣灵的殿。
And when you live a life that's surrendered to God,
当你把生命献给神，
when you have this big yes heart for God,
当你有一个愿意顺服的心，
then the fire of God's presence will fall on your sacrifice.
神同在的火就会降临在你所摆上的祭物。
The fire of God's presence will fall on your sacrifice.
神的火就会在你的祭物上面，
God's presence will fall on your yes.
神的同在会降临在你的愿意上面。
And the heavy cloud of His glory, His presence will fill you.
神荣耀同在的云也会充满你这个圣殿。
Now, let me make sure you understand.
那我要再重复一次，
you're not earning more of God's presence because you have a yes heart.
有一个愿意的心，没有办法换更多的同在，
That's not how it works.
不是这样子的。
But you can limit your access to God's presence when you have a no heart.
但是如果你没有一个愿意的心，你就会限制神的同在了，
Or sometimes we have a maybe heart.
或者是一个或许的
Where we're a
心。
little nervous about saying yes to God for everything.
有的时候我们有些事情不太愿意对神说
I mean,
好，
maybe God will touch something I don't want him to touch.
可能有时候神要在我们还没有准备好、不愿意的事情上面
Maybe
做
God will
工，
change something I don't want him to change.
那可能神要改变我一些我还不想要改
And
变的
so I
事，
can't give him a big yes.
所以我没有办法给他说一个很大的好。
So we say, maybe God.
他说好吧，好吧，
Tell me what you want to do first.
那你可不可以先告诉我你想
I'll
做什么？
think about it,
让
God.
我先考虑一
We
下。
have this kind of thinking.
那我们会这样子的想，
When we have that kind of thinking,
当我们这样子有这个
when we have
考虑的时
a
候，
no heart,
这个可能基本上就是
or,
不是完
or
全
a
同意的，
maybe heart,
或是一个或许，
or I'll think about it heart,
或者让我考虑一下，
we're putting up a not welcome sign into our heart.
我们就在心上立起了一个告示牌，
That's what we're saying to the presence of God.
对神的同在就说，
I'm just not real. I don't feel good about you coming in all the way.
神啊，你这样子我们不太能够接受，
I love you,
我爱你，
but I just can't have you come all the way
但
in.
是你不要进那么多来
And we're
进来
saying，you're not welcome.
你不是完全那么受欢迎，
Understand?
你明白吗？
So God is an amazing God. He
但
loves
神
you.
是奇妙的神，他爱你，
He's not going to come in and bang down the not welcome sign and move in. He's not going to do that.
他也不会就硬是要破门而入，一定要进来。
He's going to wait for us to change the sign.
但是他等我们把这个告示改变，
He's going to wait for us to have a yes heart.
他等我们说愿意，
And the yes heart is a big welcome sign.
这个愿意的心就是一个欢迎的告示。
Presence of God come in completely.
这时候神的同在就可以进来，
My life belongs to you.
就对神说：“神啊，
My
我的生命属于
heart belongs
你，
completely
我的
to
心
you.
完全属于你。
You understand what I'm saying? ”
明白我所说的吗？
It's kind of basic, isn't it?
这是很基础的，
I want to encourage you guys.
但是我要鼓励大家
Get a yes heart.
准备好有一个愿意的心，
And go to God with your yes heart.
寻求神的时候就带着一个愿意的心，
This is where you have a true disciple's heart,
这就是一个门徒的心。
where you're surrendered to Jesus in all of his ways.
当你完全的降服在耶稣的面前，
This is where you've got your heart crying out, I belong to you, Jesus. Everything I have belongs to you.
你的心就这样对神呼喊说：“神啊，我所有的一切都是你的。
And when you do that, ”
当你这样子对神回
the
应的
fire
时
of
候，
God's presence will fall on your sacrifice.
神同在的火就会降临在你的
And
线
the
上。
heavy cloud of his glory, of his presence, will fill your temple.
神同在荣耀的云就会充满你这个圣殿。
We need to be saying yes with our heart continually.
我们需要每天常常的对神说：“神啊，我愿意。
Not just every day, ”
不是只有每天，
not just every month,
不是只有每个月，
continually.
无时无刻的，
It's like the heartbeat.
就像我们的心跳一样。
It says, yes,
我们的心跳就对神
Yes.
说：“好，我愿意，
yes,
我愿意，
yes,
神，我愿意，
yes,
神，我愿意，
yes.
神，我愿意。
You say, how do I get this heart? ”
这我要怎样才可以有这个愿意的心？
I struggle with this.
我有时候有挣扎，
We have an amazing potter.
但是我们的天赋是一个奇妙的陶匠，
Give him your heart.
就把你的心献给他，
Be brave.
勇敢一点，
Be brave.
勇敢，
Give him your heart.
把你的心给
You
他。
say, God, I've got a little hardness here.
你跟对神承诺说：“神啊，我有一点僵硬，
I don't have a complete yes heart.
我的心没有办法完全说我愿意。
God, soften my heart.
神啊，你柔软我的心好不好？
Soften my heart.
柔软我的心，
Make my heart into a yes heart.
让我的心可以成为一个完全愿意的心。
God will add water,
神会把圣灵的恩雨
and He'll start working you.
降在这个陶土里面，
He'll start changing your heart.
改变你的心，
Your heart will be softer.
你的心会再次变成柔
And
软
then。what do?
那你要这时候做什么？
Begin to say yes.
你就是说：“神好，我愿意。
Yes.
神，我愿意，
Yes.
我愿意，
Yes.
神，我愿意。
You're saying to God,
你就对神说，
mold me,
塑造我，
mold me,
塑造我，
mold me,
塑造我，
make me into this beautiful vessel.
让我成为这个美丽的器皿。
I'm yours.
我是你的，
Mold me.
塑造我吧。
I'm soft now.
我现在是柔软的了，
Mold me.
塑造我吧，
Make me into a vessel that's full of your presence.
让我成为一个可以承容你荣耀的器皿。
God loves this.
神是很爱这样子的态度，
Do not fear giving your heart to God.
不用担心，把你的心给神啊，
Don't fear.
不要担心，不用害怕。
It's an exciting thing when we give our hearts to God.
把我们的心给神是一件很令人兴奋的事，
He has amazing things for us.
因为他对我们有美好的计划，
Far better than we could ever think or imagine.
比我们自己能想象所计划
And
都
all
还
we
要
have
好。
to do
我们要做的
is give it to God.
就是把我们的心给神，
And He will make us
他会
into
塑
something
造我们，
amazing.
成为他所
And
塑造的器皿。
That's exciting.
这个是很令人兴奋
I
的。
want that.
我希望有这样子
I
的，
want God to take me.
我希望神来塑
And I
造我
want，Him to mold me.
我希望他来塑造
I
我，
want Him to do that to me.
我希望他这样子来对我这
Because
样
I
子
know
做，
that His purposes are far greater than my
因为我
purposes.
知道他所能够成就的比我自己能够想要的还要更多更好。
Do you want that?
你要吗？
God, I know you do.
我知道你要的。
God is good.
神是良善的神，
We can get excited.
我们可以为他而兴奋。